Child Rights International says its investigations have revealed that children between 5 and 12 in illegal mining areas have dropped out of school entirely to focus on illegal mining. The CRI opines it could cost the nation between 500,000 and 1 million Ghana cedis to rehabilitate just a child's involvement in illegal mining. Let's get further clarity on this. Executive Director for Child Rights International, Bright Appiah, joins us on Zoom to give us clarity on this. We're grateful for your time, Mr. Bright Appiah. Is Mr. Appiah with us? Unmute and speak to us.
Can you hear me?
Yes, clear now. We're grateful for your time on our desk. This report comes from your outfit, does it not? What do you mean when you say that?
Well, we carried out this in 2,162 households with a membership of over 10,000. And then we focused on children. The population of the children that we targeted were 6,000 6,000 and above. And then we looked at issues of education, we looked at issues of child labor, we looked at issues of health, and then we look at the income, the economic activities of children in those areas. So clearly, we realized that there's a correlation between the school dropout and then the earnings of the children. So for instance, you pick the age bracket that you talked about, there's a gradual withdrawal from the classroom. So when you even come to the age of 13 to 14, you realize that there's a sharp drop in terms of the enrollment of children. From that, you realize that about 80% are only enrolled in school between the ages of 13 and 14. And then from 15 to 17 is only 17%. And when you come to the income earning, the average earning of a child is 3 times higher than the average household earning in the mining areas. So children are getting more money from the illegal mining as compared to what even their household can afford. So clearly, it's giving them incentive to find their way into the illegal mining to be able to make ends meet. And because there's a school dropout, there's a clear linkage between that, the earnings, and then the school dropout rate in those areas, because a lot of them go to school and they drop out at a certain point to go and look for money that they can use to take care of themselves, their family, and then their grandparent.
Well, when you say it will cost the nation about between 500 and 1 million cedis to reinstate or rehabilitate just one or just a child to their former position, how do you break this down?
Well, it's a rehabilitation program, and the cost of rehabilitating a particular child is between that range. And in doing that, it means that even the calculation was done based on a continuous 21 days acquisition of a particular behavior. And if you want to reduce, we want to take away that behavior from that child, you will need between 500 and 1 million to be able to do that. And the minimum year that you require to do that is 2 years. And even some can take you about 50 years to be able to carry out that kind of rehabilitation. So clearly, it's not an avenue that the state want to venture into, where you want to see the distraction of the behavior of children, and then you want to spend that much to be able to undergo and to take them through rehabilitation program. And this is research that has been done by psychologists, and they have pegged those amounts to those levels. Some you can even spend more than that amount to even repair them. And even in spending that amount, it has also been said that you can't even get a full recovery. So it's not an area that we'd want to go into. That is why we are saying that the state should take a pragmatic step to deal with this matter, so that we don't spend so much money in dealing with rehabilitation program that the state do not even have the means to do that.
Well, what I would like to understand is, are these children forced into this trade, or they go on their own accord? In which ways are they involved in illegal mining?
Yeah, both ways, but the research that we did shows that children willingly want to go into it because of the resource that are attached to it, and some to forced to do that. And where they are mostly forced is when it comes to the exploitation area, where they force the children to engage in sexual exploitation. They force them to engage in certain activities, like when it is time for them to pay them, they force them to also pay some amount of money to other people. But when it comes to the direct engagement, almost about 90% of the children who were engaged in illegal mining did so on their own accord.
Who should be held responsible for their actions?
Well, it's a whole thing that we need to do, because we all know that mining, natural resources are invested in the hands of the state. So we'd have to, first of all, deal with the state. The state must issue regulations to be able to ensure that we don't engage children in illegal mining. And for that matter, we need to have a certain environmental policy that also look at child protection and all that. So we first of all need to blame the state for what is happening. And then also look at how we have even structured the community mining policy, and whether or not it is children and women are benefiting from those arrangements. And if not, we need to have a second look at those policies, so that we can bring our children to a level where we want them to be, and then we redirect their energy into the classroom, so that they will benefit from the learning, so that they'll be more productive at the time that we need their energy.
But where does the parents come in ultimately? How do they share in this blame? Because they are supposed to be under the tutelage of their parents, under the care of their parents, an oversight, on their behalf. Why blame the state and not their parents?
It's a fact, but the point is that if you have lived in that community and all that you see is illegal mining, the community itself tend to have that kind of immunity to think that that is what they need to do. So for that matter, parents do not see the need to restrain their children from engaging in those acts. Because when we even did the research, almost about 8.6% of the children said that they do mining to take care of their grandparents. And when you go to those mining areas, a lot of children are not living with their biological parent, but they are living with their grandparent or their uncles and all that. So clearly, they do that work to take care of those people. So they will not have the zeal and the capacity to say that don't go and do illegal mining. That is why we are saying that for us to even engage the parent, engage the community, then we need a superior law from the state to be able to redirect what even the parent need to do. Once we are able to do that, we can curtail the issue. But if you want to depend on parent or the family to deal with issues of illegal mining by preventing children from not engaging in it, then we will not get to a level that we want to, because they are also victims.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bright Appiah, for this. Well.